This is my musical critique of my music called Spiral of Light Synthesizer Music 1. And it's going to be Shay who helps me read. This is the time. Is this the time and is this the place? Is some of the mood of this music. It kind of asks the listener to get ready. And it also asks the question, could it be? And then I think it answers it in one sense when it says, this is it. Othello from the play Othello asks in a moment of climax, in the very beginning of the play, when he's surrounded by soldiers, he has to make some kind of defense for himself because he just had married the daughter of a prominent man without his permission. So they try to grab him. So he says, "Put up your swords, gentlemen, for the dew will not rust them." He's a general, Othello, so he's kind of a military guy. But this is a climax within the first act of that play. It's kind of like that, this music. So it has heights. It's a sublime kind of piece of music, which relates to Longinus, who wrote a book called or Pseudo Longinus, who wrote a book called On the Sublime. Also, Burke wrote a book called On the Sublime too. There's sublime can also mean the romantic added to beauty, or beauty added to strangeness. I should cross that out and put strangeness. And Milton's a good example of a kind of sublime author. It has a heartbeat. It seems like it has its heartbeat racing in this music because of the excitement. So there is a dramatic kind of action in this music called Spiral of Light. I asked the question, is there love in this music of climactic action and in this moment of heroism? I asked also another question of the music, is it a provocative scene? Can you actually learn from it? So in the Spiral of Light piece I did, I asked, who are the characters involved, whom the listener is imagining? And so I answer that by saying it's Othello, Desdemona, and her father from the play Othello, in some sense. Do you have to imagine the characters, I ask? The music kind of rushes by. It symbolizes rush. It could be symbolic of going through crowds, just like maybe the character Jesus. It's a fast kind of music, so I think of the part of I believe it's Lewis Carroll, in one of his verses about joining the dance. "Will you walk a little faster?" said the porpoise to the snail. Is this song dark and riddling, I wonder? And does it involve any hatred at all for anyone? I definitely hope not. It definitely knows that if taking turns, its own turn is now. What right does it have to tell us anything, I wonder? To have one's turn now is to be at center stage. So I ask the question, how bright is the music, its light and the light shining on it? Finally, does it remind anyone of anybody's father's eyes? It's kind of like a near-death experience, being rushed out of the body, this music. And what is my question? Does it have to do with the law or any commandments? Is the character of the music at all pious or honoring God? And does Othello or Jesus, whom the music kind of resembles, in the music stagger in their world in which they are thrown? Those are my questions for this music. So there's more questions about it than actual answers, I think, for Spiral of Light Synthesizer Music 1, helped by Angel Shea.